Good evening. Israel has continued with its bombardment of the Lebanese capital, Beirut, this evening, less than 7 hours before a ceasefire is due to come into effect. A UN resolution has been approved by Israel and Lebanon, which calls for a cessation of hostilities from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. But the peace deal could be in doubt as the attacks on both sides of the border continue. Martin Geisler reports.
This was the storm before the lull. Both Israel and Hezbollah launched a relentless barrage across their border today, determined to inflict maximum damage before the order comes to put down their weapons. In Beirut, another massive bombardment rocked the south of the city. Meanwhile, in Jerusalem, the Israeli government was signing up to the peace deal. They claim it gives them the security they want. The past month of fighting, a means to an end. The UN says the fighting will stop tomorrow, an agreement nailed down to the very minute.
Two leaders have agreed that the cessation of hostilities and the end of the fighting will enter into force on 14 August at 0500 hours Greenwich Mean Time.
Tomorrow the big guns may stop firing and the rocket attacks may come to an end, but there are a couple of serious problems with this ceasefire. Hezbollah say they'll keep attacking these Israeli troops as long as they remain in Lebanon, and the resolution gives Israel the right to defend itself. At the very least, that will mean skirmishes on the ground are likely to continue. The Israelis won't pull out until the UN force arrives late next week at the earliest.
This is a test also not only for the Lebanese government but for the international community. I mean, we expect the international community not only to take the right resolution as was upheld by the Security Council a few days ago, but also to implement this resolution, and the sooner the better.
Meanwhile, more civilians died today on both sides of the border. The resolution should bring an end to these daily tragedies, but the peace will be fragile at best. Martin Geisler, ITV News, on the Israel-Lebanon border.
Well, the southern Lebanese city of Tyre has been under renewed bombardment this evening from Israeli forces. Our Middle East correspondent Julian Mannion is there. A short while ago, he told us the bombs are still raining down.
Israel has really stepped up the pressure in what should be the final hours before the ceasefire in the morning. At times there's almost been a frenzy of bombing, with explosions taking place in a wide arc to the east of the city of Tyre, and just a few explosions inside the city limits. Among the targets that we're hearing about, I'm afraid, a mother and 3 children lie buried in the rubble after one explosion. Israel, of course, says the targets are Hezbollah targets, but we're also hearing about petrol stations, the last few surviving petrol stations on the road out of here destroyed, bridges also destroyed. What we're also hearing is that the ground offensive may have slowed slightly. The same names, the same villages are being spoken of as the scene of fighting. And from Israel, we're hearing of continued recriminations between the military and political leaders, with Israeli generals reproaching the political leaders for not giving them enough time in this final expanded offensive, not enough time to achieve real results. What people here are hoping is quite simply that tomorrow morning the guns will fall silent.
Julian Mannion there in Tyre. Now, the Home Secretary today warned it was highly likely Britain would be targeted by terrorists again. John Reid admitted that there could be many other terror plots that police simply don't know about. And he refused to deny reports that there are 24 major police operations currently targeting terrorists in the UK. Shuli Ghosh reports.
The full extent of the threat facing Britain is becoming clear. Security services say up to 24 terror investigations are going on. The Home Secretary has revealed previous al-Qaeda plots have been foiled as far back as 2000, and there are almost certainly more to come.
At least 4 major plots have been thwarted. There could be others out there, perhaps people we don't know. It is highly likely there will be another terrorist attempt, and that is one thing of which we can be sure.
23 suspects are still in custody over the alleged plan to blow up transatlantic flights, and the investigation is ever widening. Police have now started searching an area in Stratford in East London, removing rubbish for examination. 7 suspects have also been arrested in Pakistan, including a British national. Similar investigations are also going on in Belgium, Germany and Italy, where other arrests have taken place.
NBC News has new information about the investigation that led to the arrests and a disagreement between the U.S. and Great Britain.
But while the operation is being hailed as an international success, American sources say there may have been a significant dispute over the timing of the arrests. They claim British intelligence wanted to continue its surveillance for another week, but US officials demanded immediate action.
After 9/11, they were criticised pretty heavily. They realised that they missed a lot of opportunities then, and they over-insure. I think British authorities, they don't take risks, but they leave plots as long as they possibly can in order to let them mature so that you've got as much evidence as possible.
The Home Office has denied there was any row with the Americans over when to make the arrests, but ultimately the success of this anti-terror investigation will rest on whether police have enough evidence to bring charges. Julie Ghosh, ITV News at Scotland Yard.
The chaos facing passengers at Heathrow Airport looks likely to continue for another day. Airlines are being forced to cancel 20% of departing flights tomorrow in an attempt to cope with the congestion from 4 days of extra security checks. Keir Simmons has spent the day there and reports now on more misery ahead for travellers.
Those arriving at Heathrow tonight were the lucky ones. Those leaving had to endure long delays, often outside. Terrorism and torrential rain, a miserable combination.
This has been a challenge for the last 4 days, and obviously the weather on top of it doesn't help. There are a number of marquees now in place outside the departure halls, and obviously we're trying our very best to make sure people are as comfortable as they are.
Go straight through, sir, and it's on.
But airport staff are struggling, says Ryanair's boss.
Heavy rain and serious security.
The government therefore has a choice. Either we send in more army and police personnel to do these extra security checks, or 3, 4, 5 days after the events of last Thursday, we begin to return the security to the normal levels.
Normal summer weather would at least have made things easier for passengers like this couple married yesterday.
Well, should be going at 7:30, so we'll see what happens.
Tomorrow, 20% of Heathrow flights will be cancelled, and there'll be disruption across other airports too. Ryanair's boss made another point today. He said if all of this is allowed to continue, then the terrorists have won. Keir Simmons, ITV News, Heathrow Airport.
Well, some other stories making the headlines tonight. The British soldier killed in an accident in Afghanistan yesterday has been named. He was Lance Corporal Sean Tansey from the Household Cavalry. He died while working on a damaged armoured vehicle. A Cuban newspaper has published the first pictures of Fidel Castro since his stomach surgery earlier this month. Meanwhile, his brother Raul has appeared in public for the first time since taking over as president of Cuba. He greeted the Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez at Havana Airport. And a father of 2 has become the first man to walk across the River Mersey. Graham Bonus waded the 1.5 miles for charity. He said his height, 6'9", and a low tide helped him. Well, that is it for now. There are bulletins throughout the night here on ITV1. But from me and all of us here on the Weekend Team, goodbye.
ITV National Weather. Sponsored by Powergen.
Hello again, good evening. Today's rain, which has mainly affected East Anglia and the Midlands, is slowly slipping away southwestwards and dying out all the time. Now, we are going to see a mostly dry night across the UK, but a few showers appearing in places mainly along the North Sea coast. Now, as we move into the start of a new week, those showers are going to slowly slip southwards, and as we move into the early part of the afternoon, they'll clear away from the south coast, I think. So a lot of dry weather around to start Monday, and a fair amount of brightness as well, just a few showers appearing towards the east and southeast. Now, temperature-wise, not too bad at all, up at around 22 Celsius in the driest and brightest southwestern quarter of the UK. 22 Celsius our high, but low pressure remains close by over the next few days, so staying unsettled and cool at times. Good night.
Positive energy from Powergen.
Tomorrow, Britain remains on critical terror alert as 23 suspects remain in custody over the alleged liquid bomb plot. In a terror update, new security procedures at UK airports are expected to lead to a 5th day of disruption to flights leaving Heathrow and Gatwick. GMTV live from 6 tomorrow.
Can money buy you happiness? Lottery winners and a millionaire tell their story in It's My Life next. Then at midnight 15, it's the World Rally Championship.
Should have gone to the gym 118.
118118.com. For whatever, whenever, in all weather.
Hello again. The unsettled conditions are staying with us for the next few days or so. It does mean we're going to see some showers from time to time, and it's also going to continue to really feel quite cool in the breeze as well. Now let's put things in context. There's a fair amount of cloud around right across the UK today, and we've had those showers moving westwards right across our region. The latter part of the day they faded off the scene, and certainly we can look forward to a reasonably dry night. Clear spells in fact for some of us, but thanks to all that cloud cover we're going to see temperatures holding up quite well, getting down to no lower than around 13 degrees Celsius at their lowest, so a reasonably mild night lies ahead of us. Now, it's a fairly promising start to the day tomorrow. In fact, some brightness around, but later on in the morning, we are going to see some showers encroaching from the north, principally clipping this eastern side of our part of the world. But during the course of the afternoon, they are going to fade away fairly effectively. A dry and bright afternoon. We can't rule out the chance, perhaps, of the odd rogue shower here and there, possibly quite a heavy one as well. But temperatures don't look too bad despite all of this. We've got highs tomorrow, once again, of around 20 degrees Celsius. That's just short of the magic 70 degrees in Fahrenheit. And looking further ahead, come Tuesday, it's a reasonably dry and bright day, although there will be some cloud around, but we are going to see those showers returning during the course of the day on Wednesday, possibly quite heavy from time to time during the course of the day on Thursday, in fact, but all the while, temperatures holding quite comfortably at 22 degrees Celsius. Good night.
Whatever your story, whatever your belief, whatever drives you, when you step into the ring, it's all about courage. Can you spot the contender? Monday at 9, ITV4.